I love fishing.
Dave dreamed of huge fish ones he could brag about. He heard whispers of a hidden lake, a lake with fish bigger than anyone had ever seen. So Dave packed his bags, his fishing rod, and a whole lot of excitement.
I'm gonna catch the biggest fish ever.
Dave drove for hours, his excitement bubbling over. He imagined the stories he would tell. He pictured the surprised faces of his friends. This fishing trip, Dave thought, would be legendary. Finally, Dave found it. Whispering Willow Lake. It was a place he had heard about in stories, a hidden gem tucked away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. The journey had been long and arduous, but the sight before him made it all worthwhile. The name was painted on a weathered wooden sign, half hidden by overgrown vines. It looked like it had been there for decades, untouched by time, adding to the lake's mysterious allure. The lake shimmered in the afternoon sun, its waters sparkling like 1,000 tiny diamonds. The light danced on the surface, creating a mesmerizing display that was almost hypnotic, its surface undisturbed, like a giant mirror, reflecting the blue sky. The tranquility of the scene was almost surreal, as if time itself had slowed down in this magical place. Tall willow trees, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze, stood like silent guardians around the lake. Their branches swayed gently, creating a soothing, whispering sound that added to the lake's serene atmosphere. Encircled the lake, casting long, dancing shadows. The shadows moved with the rhythm of the wind, creating an ever-changing pattern on the water's surface.
Wow, this place is perfect, Dave exclaimed, his voice filled with awe and wonder. He had never seen anything so beautiful in his life.
Dave breathed in the fresh air, feeling it fill his lungs and invigorate his spirit. The air was crisp and clean, a refreshing change from the city smog he was used to. The sweet scent of wildflowers filling his nostrils. The meadow was a riot of colors, with flowers of every hue swaying gently in the breeze. He could hear the gentle chirping of crickets, their song a constant, soothing background noise that blended perfectly with the other sounds of nature. And the melodic songs of unseen birds. Their tunes were like a symphony, each note adding to the overall harmony of the scene. It was the perfect place to catch a giant fish. Dave could already imagine the thrill of the catch, the excitement of reeling in a big one in such a picturesque setting. Dave unpacked his gear, his heart pounding with anticipation. He baited his hook, cast his line, and waited, and waited, and waited some more. But nothing happened. His bobber remained still, dancing only to the rhythm of the gentle waves.
Come on, just one bite.
He tried different baits, different spots, different techniques. Hours passed. The sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Dave caught nothing.
Maybe the rumors were just rumors.
He sighed, his shoulders slumping with disappointment.
Not even a nibble. I've been here for hours and still nothing. This is getting really frustrating.
Not catching anything, eh? You look like you could use some help.
Suddenly, Dave heard a raspy voice. It was unexpected and sent a chill down his spine. He turned to see an old man, his face hidden behind a long white beard that reached his knees. The man seemed to appear out of nowhere. He wore a patched-up straw hat and held a fishing rod made of what looked like a tree branch. His appearance was as peculiar as his sudden arrival.
You need the right bait for these waters. It's not just about patience, young man.
The old man chuckled and rummaged through his bag, pulling out a sandwich. Dave couldn't believe his eyes.
Try this. Peanut butter and jelly always works. Trust me, it's the secret to catching the best fish here.
He said, handing it to a bewildered Dave. Dave hesitated but took the sandwich, wondering if this strange advice could actually work. Dave stared at the sandwich, utterly confused. It wasn't just any sandwich, it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, something he had never thought of using as bait before. The idea seemed absurd, yet strangely intriguing, but something about the old man's twinkling eyes convinced him to try. The old man had a mysterious aura, and his words carried a weight that Dave couldn't ignore. "Trust me," the old man had said, "this sandwich holds a secret." He carefully hooked the sandwich onto his line and cast it into the water. The sandwich floated for a moment before sinking slowly, leaving a trail of peanut butter and jelly in the water. Almost immediately, his rod bent double. The force was so strong that Dave had to plant his feet firmly on the ground to avoid being pulled into the water. The line screamed as something huge took the bait. Dave's hands were shaking and he could feel the adrenaline pumping through his veins. This was no ordinary catch.
Oh wow, this is it. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Dave held on for dear life, his heart pounding in his chest. Every muscle in his body was straining as he fought to reel in whatever was on the other end of the line. The fight was long and tiring, but finally he reeled in the biggest fish he had ever seen, a magnificent creature with shimmering scales and a fin as big as his arm. The fish glistened in the sunlight, its colors more vibrant than anything Dave had ever seen. The old man was gone, leaving Dave speechless, holding his prize and wondering about the magic of peanut butter and jelly. As he looked at the fish, he couldn't help but think that maybe, just maybe, there was more to fishing and life than he had ever imagined.